Hey everyone out there in HeroClix land, welcome to our third, can you believe this, 3 years, to our third annual HeroClix for Huntington's preview live stream. So, hi, it's me, V, and I have with me Scott Porter. Hi, Scott.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being. I usually say "What's up, everybody?" in here, but you've already took my intro, so
I
now
stole it.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm like just stumbling over myself. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being here with us for I can't believe it, 3 years running now. This little idea for this HeroClix for Huntington's weekend was something I had in my head for years, and it wasn't until Howard Brock called me and said, "Hey, man, I want to team up for a charity thing, and I want to do it for the Huntington's Disease Society of America." Um, we wouldn't be here without Howard and without WizKids, and we wouldn't be here for the live stream without you, V. So thank you so
Aw,
much for being here again.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, just a heads up, basically, for this live stream, we're going to cover lots of information about the event that's coming up soon. We have some really cool reveals, like first to see type of things coming up along the way. And then I see y'all getting excited in the chat, which is fantastic to see. We are going to work on getting some questions in, but we're going to wait to the end so that way we can get through all this fantastic information we have ahead of us. When you type in caps, all caps, question, type in caps, all caps, question, colon, and then your question. That makes it much easier for me to see in the chat so I can relay those questions over to Scott. But now that you're all here, and for those who might not be familiar with it, what can the players expect for HeroClix for Huntington's in 2023 for this particular event?
Yeah, HeroClix for Huntington's, for anybody who hasn't taken part before, is an in-person and virtual tournament and HeroClix weekend that is taking place this year from May 4th to May 7th. On Thursday night, there's a welcome tournament, the Tracy Brock Memorial, as well as online battle royales for those people who are jumping in and joining us virtually. On Friday, we have a sealed tournament that is incredible. We're going to talk a lot more about later. The super pre-release of Avengers 60th, the Scott Porter versus the World HeroClix sealed tournament, which I'm super excited about. And on Friday, we'll also have in-person battle royales and virtual battle royales. And that night, we have a virtual auction, which is something that everyone all over the place can take part of. And Saturday, we've got a teams tournament as well as all the battle royals. And then on Sunday, we have the Rock World Championships. So, what players can expect is to be able to come together as a community and make a ton of money, hopefully for a very, very worthy cause, raising money for the Huntington's Disease Society of America, all while getting probably some of the best prizing that you will find at a single HeroClix tournament, much less an entire weekend chock full of them. And so I'm very excited, mostly just for the community to come together. The past 2 years have been incredible, getting to speak to people in person as well as online, play with people in person and online. And it's just a giant community event where we come together as a family and do something good, and it's just really, really exciting. So yeah, that's what that they can expect for the weekend. And,
Awesome.
we'll get into all that stuff, I guess, later, like in more depth.
Yeah. So just to make sure everyone's clear, when is this going to be happening? The exact date, so people can kind of start marking those
Yeah, it
calendars.
starts on May 4th and it runs through May 7th. So Thursday through Sunday. The in-person stuff will take place at Lucky Dice Cafe down in Huntsville, Alabama. I hope more people can come out this year. I know last year was Mother's Day, but
That's right.
it's not Mother's Day this year.
No.
It is not Mother's Day. So I hope to see everybody in person. But for people that can't make it, we still want to make sure that all 4 of those days of our HeroClix for Huntington's weekend, we have something for people who are coming in remotely. And so those are the dates and the locations.
Fantastic. So, again, we have some new people watching this, and I know we've done this a couple times before, but it's always good to sort of let new people know basically how did this whole event come to be? Like, what was the inspiration? What got you going with it? Because you mentioned you've been wanting to do this for so long, but what's the backstory for it?
Yeah, for a number of years, I was doing a huge event in the fall called Freeze HD. And I got WizKids to join us with our auction for that event, which was more like a Hollywood event.
Mhm.
We had like signed Chris Pratt posters or, set visits or, all of these things that happen in Hollywood. But I very quickly realized like we don't have to have this very specific, film and television thing. Why don't we expand it? I started getting shoes and I started getting all these other things. And then I brought all my nerdiness into that big
Mm,
event in the fall. And I got WizKids to give me some really cool stuff like super early. And the
yeah.
community of HeroClix, they responded really well. And we're going to have a special guest on later in this live stream. And he is an individual who actually dropped a pretty penny on the Fulcrum Abominus a couple of years ago, where you could get it a year before it released to the public, which was a big deal. And later that year, Howard Brock called me and said, "Hey, man, you know, my wife and I, his wife Tracy, they wanted to do a charity event, and they wanted it to be for a lesser known charity. And he had seen me doing fundraising for the Huntington's Disease Society of America, and he called me actually. And I had had this idea for Heroes for Huntington's for a while, doing something comic booky, nerdy,
Hmm.
gamey, and
Hmm.
figuring it out. But I never could like really pinpoint. And then it made all the sense in the world when he called me that I've been a part of the HeroClix community for about 20 years, and or longer than that, I guess now. Geez,
Yeah.
I'm old. But this family and this community of HeroClix players is, I've been close to them forever. When I lived in Japan for a year, I
Hmm.
played with guys online through HC Realms or Creation Matrix. So
Right, right.
I realized like getting a community together like the HeroClix community would probably be the best way to do it. And this event means a lot to me because my wife has Huntington's disease. My mother-in-law is symptomatic with Huntington's disease. It is a lesser known disease, and we need all the help that we can get to try and find a cure for this thing. And it's a it's a degenerative neuro it's a genetic neurodegenerative disease that attacks the brain, like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and ALS all at once. And there's no cure, but using the help of wonderful people like you and like Howard and WizKids, as a force for good in this HeroClix community, as a force for good. Hopefully, we can find a cure for it, and families like mine will be able to avoid, having their family members suffer through what Huntington's is. So this event means a lot to me, and it exists because of just a few people in a very small community that can make a lot of noise. And over the past couple of years, we've raised over $60,000 for the Huntington's Disease Society of America, and we hope to keep that going this year.
That's amazing. It really is incredible how this community pulls together and supports one another. I mean, I see it year after year after year. So it's great to hear, that it's building and it's growing and it's getting attention, which was what you want, and it's great to
Yeah,
see. And you're doing it with this fantastic event, which is even more of a bonus because again, it's not only is the community giving to this cause, but you're also giving back to the community at the same time. So you mentioned all these things going on with the schedule. Can you break down a little bit more detail what to expect each day, both for attendees and virtuals?
Yeah, so Thursday night, like I said earlier, is the Tracy Brock Memorial Tournament, and that's like a big welcome event as everybody arrives into Huntsville. And it's kind of played with a bunch of old HeroClix that you pull off the shelf, and
Hmm.
it's teams and it's fun and it's great. And then we have online battle royals that start, and a gentleman named Brad Broyles is running all of our virtual battle royals again, and he is fantastic. He runs a very tight ship, and people have so much fun playing in those. Saturday, we have a big team tournament that is the Scott Porter Invitational Team Tournament. And I know in the last couple of years, that tournament has a theme sometimes to it. You can only play family members, or you can
Right.
only play.
Yeah.
This year, we just decided to go a completely different way with it. It's been an individual tournament in the past. It is now
Hmm.
going to be a team tournament. And I
Oh.
thought that was really cool, a way to lean into us
Hmm.
doing this together. So the team tournament happens on Saturday, as well as in person and virtual battle royals. And then Sunday, there is the Rock World Championships, which Howard runs. And I know a lot of people are very excited about that. The thing that I am most excited about, though, is a little thing that we coined, the Scott Porter versus the World sealed tournament. Now, last year we played with Absolute Carnage, and it was a lot of fun. This year, we're not even playing with a set that will have been released by the time we actually have our tournament. This year, Scott Porter versus the World Sealed Tournament is using Avengers 60th, which is a set that doesn't release until the middle of June. The pre-release won't be until June. So we are calling ours a super pre-release. You can get your hands on this set by being in Huntsville to play in person on May the 5th. And what's really cool is WizKids actually has gotten me a brick of this even earlier. And I'm going to shoot my unboxing series for Avengers 60th and air it starting on May 1st. So the
Oh,
day that the tournament begins on May 5th will be the final day of the unboxing series that I'm shooting for this. So the synergy
that's
with all
cool.
of it is really, really cool. And so I'm super excited about that particular event. I mean, I don't know that there's ever been anything like this ultra super pre-release thing, but WizKids came through and they were able to get me product way, way early. And I'll be wearing bounties on my back throughout the day. If you can beat me, you'll win whatever limited edition figure I have on my back or whatever, special prize that I'm wearing
Hmm.
as a bounty. But I got to warn you, I've played in 2 tournaments in the past year, and I made it to the final in the Scott Porter Seal tournament last year, and I made it to top 8 with Scott Crampton and Isaac down at the Florida event. So I getting the bounty off my back might be a little harder than I think people think. I think coming into
Okay.
last year's event, people were
Uh-huh.
underestimating me a little bit,
Ooh,
and then
okay.
some big victories along the way, and you know, I think people now have to adjust their expectations for how easy it will be to strip me of those bounties. But I'll have good stuff on my back, Phoenix Sentinels, stuff like that,
Hmm.
other limited edition figures, maybe some Fantastic Thors at some point throughout the day. So,
Cool.
it'll be a lot of fun to play.
Nice. No, you're going to be doing an unboxing soon, but do you want to share a couple things with the audience a little bit ahead of time?
Yeah, I figure why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I think we should go ahead and take a look at the couple of the figures that
Yes,
we're
I
going to be
say we
seeing in Avengers
should.
60th.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to go with first? I'll let you pick, V.
I'm
Who
gonna
who
go with
you
my
want?
favorite right now. This one.
Oh, yes. This is a Black Panther figure that we've got coming out in
Hmm.
Avengers 60th. Some of your first previews, actually, for this set are happening right now. I don't think that people were fully ready, I guess, for us to be previewing all of this stuff. But yeah, this is a Black Panther classic. I think Avengers 60th, there's going to be a couple of things that I'm guessing that is going to be in the set. Now, I have not done my unboxing yet.
Right.
But when you have a set that covers 60 plus years or 60 years of a particular team, you're going to have the timeless versions of the figures, but then you're going to have hopefully super specialized versions of the figures. Now, the current run in Avengers dealing with the multiversal Masters of Evil, I think they're probably going to play into this set a lot as well. So some incredibly modern day
Hmm.
Avengers and then
Nice.
classic versions of Avengers like this Black Panther. I love this Black Panther, and I'm going to tell everybody in the live stream, I'm not going to read it today. We're not going to do a comics deep dive as much as I want to, because I'm seeing something for the first time and I just want to read all the powers. I want to talk about where this
I know
Black
how you
Panther's
work.
from. But everybody can pause the live stream. You can put this figures up in whatever HeroClix directories you use and take a peek. But we also have another Avenger that I'm super excited about, more of like a Bendis New Avengers Avenger and Jessica Jones. Some people know her from the Defenders, some people know her
Hmm.
from the street level stuff. This is such a cool Jessica Jones, granting keywords to other people, doing just Jessica Jones stuff too. And I love the action and the sculpt here. So these are the 2 figures that we have so far for Avengers 60th. But by the time we play in the Scott Porter versus the World Sealed tournament, uh, we will have so much more information, but not
Hmm.
everything. So, but by the end of that weekend, I think the end of the day at our tournament, I think pretty much the entire set will be spoiled. And I think it's cool that we're going to be
Ooh.
learning it all together
Uh-huh.
because there are going to be figures that are going to be pulled that day that no one has seen before. And I think that
So
element of
cool.
surprise in a sealed tournament is going to be so cool.
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's ever been a time that I played in a sealed tournament where I didn't actually know what was going to be in the set.
Oh, wow.
So, we're not going to know it all. If I get lucky in my unboxing
Hmm.
series and I get a
Hmm.
chase and a prime and 3 super rares, there are so many more chases and so many more super rares and so many more primes that no
Right.
one's going to know about. There's got to be probably, a couple of really high-end meta pieces that are going to be
Mm.
unveiled like as we open boosters that day. So I think it'll be fun. Hopefully the set doesn't get spoiled completely before then, but
Still, it's always
fingers
fun to kind
crossed.
of
Fingers
share a
crossed.
little excitement ahead of time.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So there you go.
excitement, yeah, speaking of
Hmm.
excitement, I am sure people are going to get excited once they start hearing, you're talking about incredible prizing. So, what is this prizing that people are going to be getting to experience with this event?
Yeah. So what is unique about the HeroClix for Huntington's tournament outside of like the awesome tournaments that we have and all of the things that we have, from WizKids is that we also have unique prizing that WizKids has allowed us to do. We have Become a Switch Clicks, which is an incredible prize. We have Create a Bystander. We have Create a Legacy card. We have ways that winners at our event weekend can, basically leave their mark on the game of HeroClix. And those creative bystanders, which in years past I had my own Scott Porter bystander. The
Right.
second year, our winner Matt created a pog that was awesome called Spirit of the Game. And those are scattered throughout the entire weekend. There are ways to win those bystanders everywhere,
Hmm.
whether you're playing virtually, whether you're playing
Cool.
in person, whether you're playing in tournaments or battle royals. Those unique prizes that you can only get exclusively at our event are there. But on top of that, we have sealed factory sets. We have sealed chase and prime sets, which people are finding harder and harder to get a hold of. We have unreleased figures that we're going to be able to be auctioning off and having as prizing. We have specific maps that we build for our tournament weekend. So the prizing once again is through the roof. The battle royals, I'll say, the in-person battle royals, they have the pogs, but they also are bolstered this year by all of the variants of the Plastic Man items. There are a bunch of Plastic Man items that not everybody has had a chance to get a hold
Uh-huh.
of. We have all 6 of the versions of Plastic Man going into our in-person battle royals, or 5. I think there's maybe 5. Fire Hydrant. There's Fire Hydrant, and
Five.
there's like 4
Okay.
more, and it's awesome. And you're going to be able to win those in battle royals in person, which not everybody has their hands on those, as well as the pogs, as well as
Hmm.
online. um, because the shipping, when this many people are playing online battle royals, we decided this year, let's go with cards, but we're
Hmm.
not going to go with team up cards or legacy cards like we have in years past. We're going with tarot cards from the X of Swords play event, as well as the bricks. There are 70 tarot cards, and not everybody has complete sets. If you
Hmm.
play online at Battle Royals, just for jumping in to play, you are guaranteed to at least get a tarot card. So, worth the price of entry, and you have the possibility to win, these exclusive bystander tokens. Which this year we have one that's designed by Scott Crampton. Lesser Scott has designed one, and I think he did an all right job, but we'll show everybody that here in a little bit.
Okay.
One of the other unique prizes that we have, though, is, as I mentioned earlier, a legacy card.
Right.
And you get to design a legacy card. Last year's winner was Daniel Powell. And I think let's take a look at his legacy card that he has. It's going to be coming in Wheels of Vengeance. There's a Ghost Rider themed set that's going to be coming up. He decided to do just a fully decked out version of Iron Man
So
for his
much.
legacy card. Everybody can look at what Daniel Powell was able to do here. And this year's legacy card winner is actually going to be happening in the teams tournament.
Oh.
Um, in years past, because our full tournament weekend was all single stuff as far as
Hmm.
the HeroClix for Huntington's angle. This year we've gone to teams. So whoever wins fellowship as a team in the Scott Porter Invitational Silver Age Team Tournament that happens on Saturday will be designing a legacy card together as a team. And what's really cool about that to me is the first year we did this event, we did, you have to have family members on your team,
Right. Yeah.
because the Huntington's Disease Society of America, their slogan is family is everything. Um, every child of a parent with HD has a chance to inherit it. It tears through families. And they
Hmm.
decided to take that information and then make a very powerful, saying with it. Family is everything. And so we did a family themed tournament in year one. Last year was the first year that Silver Age was really coming back into play. So we did a Silver
Hmm.
Age thing, and it
Right.
was a singles tournament. This year we're going into the teams, and because of that, we've kind of changed the way that fellowship is going to be won. There's usually been 4 fellowship awards given out every single year. This year we have 3, but one of those fellowship awards is a full team. So there's actually 5 people who are winning fellowship this year. So yeah, so this is a really cool prize that a team will be able to win by still showing up and bringing a
Hmm.
very unique, team theme. Um, being just the most affable players, being those people who are respectful both of the game and the players around them. Listen, if you want to win fellowship, don't bring meta stuff. Don't try to break the game. Don't come to the
Yeah.
tournament. Just do something fun. Still, of course, trying to win, but if you go full meta, you better win if you want some of the dope prizes. But if you come to have a good time and in the spirit of this event, like really lean into that,
Hmm.
that might win you some fellowship points too. And the fellowship pricing is way up there. We've got sealed factory sets for them. We got
Right.
sealed chase and prime sets for fellowship, and all this stuff is listed on our website, on HeroClixForHuntingtons.com. You can actually see the fellowship pricing, and where it's going, and it's pretty cool. But Daniel Powell did a great job on this Iron
Yeah.
Man. I hope people out there are excited. And like I said, Wheels of Vengeance. So you're seeing this. I mean, that's sets away. Like that is like
So
two or three
cool.
sets down the line, and you're getting a sneak peek at what this card is going to do for an older figure right here. Um,
That's
you
wonderful.
mentioned prizing. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. One of the other special prizes that I mentioned that is unique to our event weekend is you can become a Switch Clicks.
Hmm.
And one of the ways you can become a Switch Clicks, which for those of you out there who don't know what I mean, Switch Clicks figures, there are bases that have figures that you can
Yeah.
pop onto the top, and they're able to be removed, and a different sculpt can be placed on there. You basically, what you get here is WizKids will design a model for you based on who you are, the color scheme you want, what kind of superhero you would become, and you design that, and they create a model, a figure for you that you can put onto any Switch Click space, and you can play as yourself in HeroClix with. Now, this year, you can win that in the auction. You can also win it by being our event weekend long fellowship winner. Last year, Benjamin Umansky was our weekend long fellowship winner. From battle royals to playing in constructed tournaments and sealed tournaments, a newer player onto the scene who was just so kind and so generous all weekend long. The community that was there voted Benjamin as the winner of our weekend long fellowship. And this is what he got. This is his sculpt and his figure. This is what he helped design, everything to the eyebrows and the eye color to the insignia that's on his chest. You can look at the cape that he's got. He's got a hammer and a shield. I mean, this figure is
It's so
awesome. And he
cool.
can put himself onto any Switch Clicks base
Hmm.
at any time and play with himself on.
Phrasing.
Critical Clicks. Critical Clicks would be so proud of me. Yeah, he can play with himself at any point in time.
He can play with his figure.
This is
I don't know if that
yeah.
sounds better.
I don't know
He
if
can
that phrasing
play.
sounded any better. He can play with a figure that is based on
That
himself. There we go.
reflects
I
his
don't know.
image. Wow.
Yes, there we go. Anyway, but this is incredible. And the winner of the auction last year was actually my partner in the event, Howard Brock, who, from what I know, has done something very special in remembrance of his wife, Tracy. And Howard's going to be able to share that with the world coming up very soon. So everybody, please stay tuned to all of Howard's channels for him to let you know when he's going to preview that figure. But the two ways you can become a Switch Clicks are one, in our auction, which everybody around the world can take part in, or two, win the weekend long fellowship prize. And also, the rest of the stuff you win for winning fellowship is not too shabby either. Again, HeroClicksForHuntingtons.com has the total fellowship prize in there. The third unique prize for our weekend, I think, um, do we have a somewhat special guest? I
I
can't remember
mean,
if.
you mentioned like a lesser Scott, which I'm intrigued by this whole lesser Scott thing. So, you know,
Oh, wait,
I
no,
think
is Lester Scott here?
lesser Scott has
Oh my
actually been.
gosh, Lester Scott is here. Oh, hey, I didn't say I just said Scott. This
That's
is
fine,
I
Scott.
mean, it
Greater
helps
Scott.
me, so I know who I'm
That's
talking to.
fine. Yes. How convenient be? Yeah,
Isn't
very
it? Because,
convenient.
two
And
Scots, the
well,
greater and the lesser, the one is above, the one is below. It makes
Yeah.
sense in my mind.
I will tell you this. So Scott has been telling you some lies. It is true that it is a
Oh,
little harder to beat Scott, and he was a pretty solid
Hmm.
teammate. Me and Isaac were able to drag him on our backs. Okay, he won most of his games. But what he didn't do that he said, what he didn't do is he did not get in the finals last year. He got in the semifinals. I was in the finals last year. You lost in top four, my friend.
Oh, you're right. I did.
Oh, I am right.
You know what the thing
I'm
is
right.
everyone lost to the same gentleman in Michael Holloway, and
Yes.
everyone lost to the
Yes.
same old
Yes.
man in Odin Allfather, basically.
Yes,
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
You're right. You're
indeed.
right. But you lost in the finals there, but you did win
I
in the
did win.
finals in another tournament. Do you want to explain how you won the chance to create a bystander last year?
So last year I won the Big Silver Age Championship, and I played against Daniel Powell in the finals, and I decided to pick a Pog. And the reason I decided to pick a Pog is, well, I've even heard that WizKids themselves will refer to me as Lesser Scott, and you, of course, refer to you as Greater Scott. And Scott, you have a Pog. You have a Pog. You were able to make a Pog. So I'm like, I'm going to make a Pog. And I am going to make this Pog a Greater Pog. And I will be Greater Scott, and you will be Lesser Scott. Because when they're looking at the two Pogs, like, oh, which Pog am I using? Oh, the better Pog will be, and eventually you'll flip, my friend. It's gonna flip.
Shots fired, huh? So you think your Pog is better than my Pog, huh?
I think we should look at the
your
Pog
is
and like
20 points and has Pog.
Oh
your
boy.
Pog is 20 points. Everybody knows it with Perplex. It's not a bad Pog. It's a good Pog. But it's a lesser Pog, my friend.
I'm gonna stir the pot right now and just share this. Let's just do that. Because I mean,
oh my gosh.
First and foremost, you do not have a hat in your Pog that is a top hat. I have a bigger hat. I have a taller hat, a greater hat.
I do not have. I don't even have a hat. I have no hat. Not even a lesser hat. Okay. So your choice last year was to design the legacy card or design the Pog, and I think we here all know why you chose the Pog. Really, not just to beat me, but to get your face onto.
Yes.
I mean, this is
huge.
You've got
ego problem.
You've got a green eye.
I have such a problem with you being the Greater Scott. Yeah.
This is actually from purple eye. What's going on
from
here?
my Camp Dragon. So if anybody here listens and they happen to be big fans of Dungeons and Dragons, you go to Camp Dragon Online, and this is a thing. I'm plugging everything. I got my company in the background. I got HeroClix, my podcast. I'm repping my team. Everything. I got so much.
It's also representing something very near and dear to you in 4 Points Gaming Club. Which do you
oldest group of HeroClix players, longest running group? It is.
Okay.
Name it. I mean, there were groups before, they just don't still play. So we're the longest surviving. We have been around so long that we grew our own member, and he has now won world championships. Ed literally had a kid about when we started, and that kid is Isaac. And Isaac is the winningest player in HeroClix history. I have a bunch of championships. Matt has world championships. Ed has world championships. 2 Hall of Famers on it. 4 people, winningest people. And occasionally we allow Scott Porter to be on it too.
Oh, yeah, I did help represent 4 Points down in Florida.
We were just thrilled that you made it. You showed up. It was exciting.
Let's take a look at your Pog here. So on the front, Scott Crampton, you have a greater hat, as you said. You're only 4 points, which we have not seen a non-5 or 0 on a HeroClix figure or Pog in a very long time. 4 points on brand, love it. 4 range, 4 movement, 4 attack, 4 defense, 4 damage.
4 damage, 4 everything, 4 life.
This is pretty incredible. And on the back, you've got 4 Points Gaming Club, you got Detective and Podcaster. I'm unboxing your Pog right now. How's this feel?
Yes, you are. Crampton? I'm very excited. I've never gotten to make a figure. 20 years I've been trying to do this.
Hey man, and then you have a trait, critical click. Scott Crampton only deals damage on a critical hit. Free, make an attack. I mean, you got to roll the crits if you want to hit with that 4 attack. If Scott Crampton is adjacent to a friendly character, lines of fire drawn to him are hindered. Is that just because people just don't always see you?
That's true. It's very true. I'm a smaller person. It's hard to see me a lot of times. I wear bigger hats. I'm
just some bigger hats.
Built as Scott Porter. So if I'm next to the Scott Porter Pog, I'm in stealth because you just can't see me behind your big muscly arms because you work out and you don't eat terribly every day.
What? I think you're like Joey from Friends and you don't quite know how the air quotes work. But that being said,
I think I do.
I want to know what went through your mind when you started to design this figure, this
That
here.
is, I'll be honest, that time the air quotes did actually make sense.
Mhm.
Design is a correct. Well, first off, I wanted to represent two things. My podcast, HeroClix, has been going a long time, so feel free to look at that. So I wanted something for that, and then I wanted to rep 4 points. And I thought four just down the dial would be kind of hilarious. And the other thing is, I'm not Superman, and realistically, if you're attacking me and you're Superman with, like, let's just say an 11 attack, you should hit me 100% of the time, unless Superman just like falls on his face with a crit miss. That is how I should be. That is a fair appropriation. I'm not going to be able to run away. I could hide though, so I have stealth. I think that's fair. Or
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to really do anything with powers, but I could definitely light off a smoke bomb. I felt good about that. I could definitely do that. Toughness, I think, was fair because I'm a little bit portly. So there you go. That's what it is.
The
the big
Dwarven
thing is,
Warrior.
yes, the big thing is
Sorry.
enhancement. You know, I do enhance. I have a
Right.
podcast. I make things better. This is the cheapest enhancement ever in HeroClix. The cheapest enhancement, and I'm a wall of stealth. The other thing that I do think is really cool when I was looking for and kind of designing it was the idea that I wanted people to actually roll dice with me, but I realistically felt like there was no way for that to happen because realistically, I don't think there's a character in HeroClix ever made, like, I don't think I'd win against Aunt May, right? So like, I need
Right.
so like, how do I have that kind of attack value, right? So
Right.
I wrote, but if it's free and I can free attack, you're going to do it every time because if you roll a crit hit, you do 5 damage.
That's an awful lot of damage coming from
That
a
is an
4
insane
point
amount
bystander.
of damage for a 4 point bystander, but you'll do it every time, right? And there will be some game that people will say, you know what got me through this game? The magic critical hit that I got when I rolled with my Greater Scott Fog.
You know, I got to say
Yes.
two things here.
Yes.
I think I've changed my mind on why lines of fire can't be drawn to you, or you have hindering, you know, as if you're standing next to somebody. It's because when someone goes to attack you or throw something at you, you just dive behind the figure that you're next to, probably.
Oh, that's totally true. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, oh
that's
no,
definitely.
I'm out
Oh
of
yeah,
here.
absolutely. If
The
we're in
other
a
thing I
fight,
want to say
you're getting
is,
punched by somebody different than me.
yeah,
Like
and
I'm just ducking.
the other thing is that you, unbeknownst to you, I think you actually made a bystander token that gets better if you play it with my bystander token. Because Scott Porter's may all your rolls be critical hits power allows a critical hit to happen on a roll of 10 or higher.
That's
If
correct.
you roll a 10 and I'm on the board, now you're hitting for 5 damage on a 10,
That's
11,
true.
or a 12.
That's true, Scott. You see, I think how it works is I, as the better hog, the greater hog, you with your lesser power can help a little bit here and there. And I think that's great.
Yeah,
The only
yeah.
other thing I will mention on this is detective is a very popular with those mystery cards. So I do have detective as a keyword.
Yes.
And I am a hog with keywords as well. So
And we
cheapest
previewed Jessica
enhancement,
Jones
cheapest smoke
earlier.
cloud, yeah.
Mhm.
Cheapest
Jessica
enhancement, cheapest
Jones
smoke cloud.
Jessica Jones earlier grants detective as a keyword to any individual figure that you have on your force. So that opens things up too for you to be on a theme team, which I know you love so much.
I'm
Teams
the big
are
theme team fan.
really
Huge.
Scott
I think you
Crampton.
should definitely play it once every 5-10 years. At least once every 5 years.
Yeah.
More often, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
All right, Crampton. I'll tell you what, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for supporting the HDSA through auctions from the Freeze HD event before HeroClix for Huntington's ever existed. You show up big. I have to say thank you so much. I want to give you a chance to just give me a final word on your pog here. What do you think?
Absolutely. I have a final word that I think is really important.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much better than your pog, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. What are you gonna do? You can't. You got another pog, Scott? You don't have another pog, do
You're
you?
right. You're right. I
You do
don't
not have
have.
another pog. So I'm officially going to be, and obviously I should be the greater Scott. I'm the greater Scott.
Yeah, you know
I think
what?
that's fair.
You're completely right. The chances of me having another pog ever are pretty big. So I'll give you the leg up on the pog. What I do have this year that nobody knows about at this point is two actual figures coming to the game of HeroClix. I have a Scott Porter direct to consumer. Oh, geez. Oh, it looks like Scott is. Oh,
Are you freaking
okay.
kidding me, Scott?
Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
Thank you so
Oh,
much. Oh, bye, Scott.
bye,
Oh,
Scott.
I think he just broke a window. Um,
That's gonna make the event fun for him right now.
Thank you so much to Scott Crampton for being on. And for anybody out there who thinks actually I was joking about having two direct to consumer figures,
No.
I'm actually not. I'm actually not joking. WizKids, in their infinite generosity, came to me with the idea to create two different Scott Porter direct to consumer figures that are going to be 100% of the proceeds go to the Huntington's Disease Society of America. We have a HeroClix for Huntington's variant that is up on your screen right now, and we have a direct-to-consumer Powerbomb variant, which I am super excited about. I want to talk about the HeroClix for Huntington's version first. And like I said, this was an idea that was brought to me by WizKids. They came and they said, look, we've done the pogs, and from here on out, whoever's winning the creative bystander at your event, it's probably never going to be you again. But we want to do something that ties you into the game. I've been doing the unboxings for this for a decade now. I've been a player, an envoy, a judge, a supporter of the game for a very long time. I don't know if I am worthy of having an actual figure, but they thought I was. So here it is for everybody out there to see the HeroClix for Huntington's variant. You see, I've got the black T-shirt on with the HeroClix for Huntington's logo on it, which will actually be selling again this year at the event. You'll be able to purchase that through the HeroClix for Huntington's website. The T-shirt itself that I'm wearing in this sculpt. They gave me Jordans on my feet, which is awesome. I'm a sneaker guy. I'm 4 clicks long. I cost 25 points. I have 4 range. And I know I said I wasn't going to break down figures today, but I do want to break these down. I think what WizKids and Brian Galley and the whole design team over there, the play testers, everybody at WizKids came up with just incredible figures here. I have a trait, comics knowledge, and acting roles. When establishing themed teams, choose any keyword, then choose a team ability that another friendly or opposing character has on their dial. And this game, Scott Porter has the chosen keyword and team ability. During game setup, if Scott Porter is part of a themed team, increase the result of your roll for first player by +1. This is such a cool thing because the thought behind this event weekend is coming together as a community with the common theme of doing good, right? And bringing all of us together, whether you're virtual, whether you're in person, everyone from around the world coming together for a common cause. And allowing him to kind of imitate what theme teams have done or had done for so long in the game of HeroClix was such a really cool nod here. My first click, I have Telekinesis. I've got Perplex. Scott Porter is helping the entire team through different roles that he's playing. And I think that's so cool. It's a facilitator piece. And, this is all WizKids. This is all them. I have another trait called Fight for a Cure, which is what we're here for, trying to cure this thing, trying to raise money to do that. I have support. At the beginning of your turn, Scott Porter may heal a friendly character 1 click, and that's anywhere on the map, anywhere on the board. A figure is going to heal 1 click just because Scott Porter is on the board. And then counting on the community, which is, try not to get emotional here, something that this community has come out so many times, and I've leaned on them in the biggest way possible. And when I told WizKids, I want these to be the traits on the figure, counting on the community was the very first one that I said, and they gave it this power. If Scott Porter is part of the theme team, when he starts the game with 3 community tokens, if Scott Porter has any community tokens once per turn, you may re-roll any roll. If you do, after resolutions, remove a community token from Scott Porter. that is theme team reroll basically as a power. And I'm pretty much one of the only figures that has something like that. And the fact that we're able to give back to the community with like a figure like this that anybody can play with that have all of these really cool powers is just it's awesome to me. And then family is everything is a special defensive power. Super senses friendly characters modify defense by +1 when adjacent to a friendly character that shares a keyword with them. That's just emulating that we're all so much stronger when we are together on something like this. And family really is everything. And this community is family to me. I hope they feel the same. I love this game. I love this community. And so that is the HeroClix for Huntington Scott Porter variant. I am so excited.
That's incredible.
We've got the box that it goes in and stuff. And what's really cool is WizKids has actually given me 4 of these to be able to put into the auction that happens on Friday nights. And I did not ask for this, but they put an autograph panel on the side so I could actually sign the ones that are in the auction if somebody wants that. If they don't, no big deal at all. But yeah, there's the packaging there. And then, like I said, we did this as a charity variant. And then they wanted to design a direct to consumer that wasn't just for charity at first. And we thought up the Power Bomb variant. Now, this was a figure that I really, really wanted to be a thing. Anybody who has played the game of HeroClix for a very long time has heard of, and V, you might not know this, so I'm gonna do a little history.
Ooh. Okay.
There was a poster on one of the forums for HeroClix, and they brought up this imaginary, this like leak of a set that was supposed to be called Power Bomb, and it was supposed to have all the most powerful heroes and villains of all time. It was supposed to just be blowing out any HeroClix we'd ever seen before. It was very much like tongue in cheek, power creep, like the whole thing. And Power Bomb became this like mythical set that never released, but it's been a joke for the better part of 15 years now. It's like, oh yeah, here comes Power Bomb. So the brick of HeroClix that I'm holding up above me is Power Bomb here. And we created a very offensive Scott Porter figure in the fact that I'm gaining all of these powers from this mythical brick of HeroClix called Power Bomb. So I've got a trait, comics knowledge and acting roles. Scott Porter has all keywords, even when he's not on the map, which I think is cool, sidelineable stuff. What is up, everybody out there in HeroClix land? At the beginning of the game, if Scott Porter is on a themed team, other friendly characters modify attack by +1 as long as Scott Porter is on the map. At the beginning of the game, if all other friendly characters are from the same HeroClix set, other friendly characters modify damage by +1 as long as Scott Porter is on the map. Again, kind of utilizing the prop that I'm holding in the scope, the Power Bomb brick here, and creating this idea that if you play everything out of Power Bomb, you're going to be that much stronger. You get +1 to attack and +1 to damage. There's a figure called the Collector that has kind of the opposite of this. So I'm kind of like the antithesis of the Collector. I have the Power Bomb power, which I think is awesome. I have knockback, pulse wave, but does not target friendly characters. So pulse wave just ignores all your powers, all of these things, but usually damages everybody in the area of the attack roll. I ignore friendly characters, so friendly characters don't take damage from the pulse wave. So Power Bomb itself is just blowing up constantly, and then the free knockback is so cool. Strip somebody of their defensive powers with the pulse wave, and then knock them back. Nobody wants to come up and get close to that, but you kind of have to, because what's in the cup today, which is one of the things that I play on my unboxing series. Today it's cherry Coke. I gave up soda for Lent. I have it in the HeroClix for Huntington's mug that I won in the auction last year. This year we're gonna have tumblers actually instead of coffee mugs. It's gonna be really, really cool.
Very nice.
But yeah, stop. It's a stop click, which I this is ridiculous that I have a stop click, but it's there. Regeneration, when I use it, heal each adjacent friendly character 1 click. I have the team player team ability, and you can see all the stats there. So I'm looking at this figure, so I don't know if chat's going nuts, but hopefully this is a figure that people love 100% to play. And like I said, this was going to be direct to consumer. This was going to come out later in the convention season and be purchasable through kind of the convention circuit. But then WizKids called me 3 days ago and they said, look, we want both of these characters to be completely for charity. And that just completely blew me away. I mean, I had no idea, and you can see the box there. This was going to be the kind of convention box, the yellow figure there. But anyway, the idea is that these are going to come out. They're going to be $20 a piece. You can buy them directly through the WizKids site. They'll be tournament legal 10 days post the first round of shipments going out. The HeroClix for Huntington's variant is going to be able to be ordered on May the 4th, and pre-ordered on May the 4th, and then mailed out sometime later this summer. And then stay tuned to all of WizKids channels, as the Powerbomb variant will come out later this summer, closer to convention season. It'll be up for pre-sale and then ship later in the summer at a different point. May is Huntington's Disease Awareness Month, so they wanted to put the HeroClix for Huntington's variant out first in May, when awareness was being raised for Huntington's disease, and save the Powerbomb one for later. But stay tuned to all of the WizKids channels for all of the information that you'll need on when and where you can order these pieces. But once again, outside of production cost, WizKids is donating every cent from these figures to Huntington's Disease Society of America. It's crazy. I couldn't be more indebted to WizKids and to Howard and to the community. So anyway, I hope you guys, and I know Jimmy O'Brien's in the chat right now.
Yep,
he's got all of your
the link, shop.wizkids.com. Don't forget, that's where you want to go and check things out for purchases.
Yeah. It's just it's too much. It's too much, the stuff that they were able to do. But yeah, anyway, that is that. So yes, Scott Crampton, greater Pog, but lesser Scott in the land of HeroClix.
Until he gets his own figure.
2 figures. Beat that, Scott. 2 figures.
Oh, he has to get 2 figures. Oh boy.
Another thing that, moving on from this, another thing I wanted to mention that's special for our event weekend every single year is a map that I actually designed that will have the HeroClix for Huntington's logo on it. The first year, it was the Hyper RPG Studios, which is where I shoot my unboxings, and that was really, really cool. The second year was the Panther Field House, which is actually the field house from Friday Night Lights, the TV show that I was a part of. This year, I've decided to do something from a film that I was a part of. We don't have an image of the map today. I want to give it space to have its own kind of proper reveal another day. So stay tuned. I believe next Saturday we're going to go ahead and put out a post and do a little unveiling. But I can say that map has a real need for speed, and that's not a Top Gun reference. God, that was terrible. Maybe I should look. You're going to want to race to pick this map up. I don't know. Anybody in chat that has any guesses of what I based this map on? It's a film that I was a part of, one that I just showed my kids recently too.
Oh, cool.
So it's really, really cool. But we have 2 announcements on the map front. We don't only have this year's special HeroClix for Huntington's map that's going to be available for sale. We're going to do a variant of it that you can only get for competing in the tournaments on the site, or bid for in our auction. So people who are virtual and people who are in person are going to have a chance to get the variant as well. But on top of that, we are double-siding the maps from the first 2 years of our event. So if you missed out on the Panther Fieldhouse or the Hyper RPG map, we are going to get maps printed up that are going to have one map on either side, which is something new for neoprene maps. The maps that we have are neoprene, and they're not. Yes. Hey, Dennis Ryan in the chat, you might have guessed correctly.
Oh, there you go.
By the way, yeah. So in the years past, you could only have one side of these maps, but this year you're going to have one on either side, which is pretty cool. And those are going to be available for purchase as well. Which, of course, again, all proceeds outside of the cost of production going to the Huntington's Disease Society of America. You're going to be able to purchase those through HeroClixForHuntingtons.com. So, so that takes care of, I think, all of the individual, HeroClix for Huntington's exclusive prizing, but we have so much more on top of that,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, like I said, factory sets. We have last year's convention exclusives that I know were a little bit difficult for a lot of people to get hold of. Going into all of our tournaments and all of our in-person stuff, we have battle royals, virtual battle royals. But that's pricing just for the tournaments. We have a whole different thing that we do throughout this weekend as well. Friday night, we have a little something called an auction that
Ooh.
goes
Okay,
off.
yeah. Tell me about this auction then.
Yeah, the last 2 years, the auction alone has raised over $35,000. Actually, more than that. It was 20 something year one. It was
Hmm.
23 last year. Geez, like up over $45,000 we've raised through this auction for the past
That's
2 years.
amazing.
Um, I wasn't sure this year how we were going to be able to top that. But this year, we have got so many cool things in our auction. In years past, it's not only contributions from WizKids, but also contributions from the community.
Hmm.
Anybody who knows Jeremiah Peterson, he makes these incredible HeroClix laser etched boxes that you can take all of your clicks and your dice and everything you need. Every year, he donates a custom, HeroClix box to a winner in the auction. We've got the Become a Switch Clicks item in there. We have, I think we have 10 factory sets. We have a bunch
Very cool.
of Chase and Prime figure sets. But we have some really cool other things as well. We have, let's see, where do I want to start here? Oh man.
You have a
Um,
selection, so you tell me and
I
I'll bring
have
it
a,
up.
I have, I think I've mentioned here today, I am doing the unboxing for the Avengers 60th on the week leading up to the actual event itself. I'll be auctioning off everything I open up in that unboxing series, which I was able to do last year as well for a different set. So anything that I open, as you're bidding on it, you can win that entire unboxing series. And the cool thing about the auction is it's going to open on Monday night, May 1st, and everything's going to be listed. So people are going to be able to bid on it for five
Nice.
consecutive days and see what is up there, what's being added. We've got some autographed things. We're going to have the maps that we're creating this year, as well as the double-sided maps that I'll be autographing. We have 4 each of the Scott Porter HeroClix for Huntington's direct-to-consumer figure, as well as 4 of the Powerbomb Scott Porter direct-to-consumer figures that people can bid on here. We have a whole set, actually, of the 2023 convention exclusives. We have 2 of these items for people to bid on. And I know a lot of people out there are going, wait a minute, the 2023 convention exclusives, we don't even know what these pieces are. Well, I can tell you all of the convention exclusives this year. And actually right now, I think that we can actually preview some of these, right? Do we have
Yeah, I have a
do we have
few.
some stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
What is happening is WizKids, we don't have any in hand right now, but WizKids has generously offered to put up 2 complete sets of this summer's convention exclusives that you can bid on. And then as soon as they have them in hand, they will mail them out to you. They have the Marvel HeroClix Hawkeye and Hawkeye, DC HeroClix Batman, in quotes, Merman, which I think is awesome. You have Marvel HeroClix Thor Gwen. You have DC HeroClix the Joker Hanna-Barbera. You have the DC HeroClix Superman Rainbow Hands variant. You have Marvel Captain America on Pegasus. You have Marvel HeroClix The Watcher. These are just some of the convention exclusives that you'll be able to bid on this summer. But we have previews of 3 of them. There's going to be a Wonder Woman that we're going to have up here, Wonder Woman Generations, and you can see her here. This figure is a beast.
Mhm.
This figure is insane. I am, again, so tempted to want to do like an unboxing version of this, but I think to keep it moving, anybody out
Tempting.
there, pause it right now. You can take a look at what this Wonder Woman does. But I mean, 10 clicks long, grants a ton of stuff to her allies around here. She's power canceling. She is thick as can be as far as just how many clicks she has, her defense, her defensive powers. This is an incredible version of Wonder Woman. The next one I wanted to take a look at is a Marvel HeroClix, and that is the Venom God of Symbiotes. Now, this particular figure, I am going to get into this just for a second.
Okay.
People out there that are looking at this that don't read maybe the Spider Verse, the Venom verse, the Symbiote verse comic books here, might not know why this Venom is glowing gold. What is this light energy weapon that he's holding? This is Eddie Brock when he becomes the god of light, the god of symbiotes, while battling Null. And that weapon that he is swinging in this particular figure is a combination of Thor's hammer and Silver Surfer's surfboard, which he turned when Silver Surfer was battling Null. He turned his surfboard into a like melting silver sword.
Oh.
And Venom takes this Silver Surfer surfboard sword and Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and slams them together to create this incredible battle axe. And that's what this figure is. And there's actually a big splash page as he goes at Null in the King in Black storyline, Donny Cates storyline. This is pulled right from the page. The sculpt is kinetic. You can see these little starbursts in the black black paint there that are emulating just him being like so full of this light energy, and that weapon that he's swinging behind him. He's got God of Hunger as a trait. I mean, this piece is insane, and so is that Wonder Woman. I mean, bang for your buck, like just incredible figures. So alone, you know, these two. Oh, my dogs are barking at something back there. Sorry. Anyway, okay. Yeah. The last figure that we have to preview today that's a part of these 2023 convention exclusives that are going to be available, like I said, complete sets, 2 complete sets of them available to bid on in the auction that happens Friday night. The last one is something that blew my mind when I got it in my inbox. Space Ghost. Space Ghost is coming to HeroClix. I cannot believe it. Go crazy, chat. I know I went crazy. For people who aren't familiar with like Space Ghost from back in the day, I think a lot of us at this point are Space Ghost Coast to Coast fans. I know I am. It's one of the greatest like talk shows ever created. I don't know. Were you a fan of Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
Oh yeah.
All I see when I see Space Ghost right here though is my hope meter going up for getting a Brack figure. If I can get a Brack figure in HeroClix with a special power called Beans. I mean, listen, if we could get Beans, do you remember Brack's song?
Oh no, not off the top of my head.
Yeah, he likes to eat beans. Yep. And in the middle of the song, he says when he's eating beans, he sits by himself in a little cloud. And then he sings this line, "Nobody comes to visit me in my little cloud. Probably because I'm cutting muffins." So if we could get a Brack figure with beans or cutting muffins as a power.
WizKids, make note. Request.
Oh my gosh, poison, like penetrating poison power would be incredible.
Yes.
Anyway, Space Ghost is here. Pause it, take a look at the dial. The fact that WizKids is doubling down on like the Hanna-Barbera stuff is such a cool thing. Like there have been so many hopes ever since the Scooby Gang joined HeroClix, which I don't actually even know if you know that the Scooby Gang is now in HeroClix.
I am just hearing about this and dang it, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and so now like we're doubling down, we're getting even more of this these really cool properties. So, you know, for me, the auction is going to be chock full of stuff that you can't get your hands on anywhere else. There's just HeroClix goodness up and down. Like I said, last year's convention exclusives, if you missed out on any, we got a ton of them in this year's auction. We've got autograph stuff, whether it's, you know, the Scott Crampton Pog. I think what we're going to do is Scott Crampton, you can bid to win Scott Crampton Pog signed by Scott Crampton, or you can pay a little more to make sure that you can win the Scott Crampton Pog that's not signed by Scott Crampton. Gotcha. I think just in case anybody out there wants a clean version of it, I had to take one last shot at Scott there. But anyway, we've got all of the Pogs, all of our maps, and the big kit and caboodle is you can bid to make yourself a SwitchClix in our auction as well. So
great.
The auction is going to be crazy. Yeah.
How do you take part in the auction? I'm sure people are going to want to know how they get into this and how they can start getting their bids in, because there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah. So there's links for everything at our website, HeroClixForHuntingtons.com. It's live right now. There's links for everything. You can go to HeroClixForHuntingtons.com. You can click on a link that'll take you directly to HDSA.org. and you can donate directly there. HDSA.org/HeroClix is also a web address, and everything that if you don't really feel like you need anything, you don't need to add anything to your collection, you just want to donate to the cause, you can do it there. At HeroClixForHuntingtons.com, you'll also have a link for Oxit, which is where we're running our auction. It's an app that we've used the last couple of years, and Oxit, every single year that they've done the event with us, generously donates all of the fees that they usually have for running these auctions. They donate their time, they waive all of the fees, so they don't charge us anything to run this massive auction, which usually auctions on Oxit, are like 20 items. We're going to be up over 150. Like, it's going to be insane. This auction is going to be stacked. And so what you'll do is you'll click on the link, you'll download Oxit, the application, and then you'll create a profile. You'll join the HeroClix Cafe, which is the thread that we run the auction through. And once you do that, you will be able to bid on anything from Monday all the way through the end of the auction, which will end on that Friday night. So
from the 1st through the 5th, then.
Yes, from the 1st through the 5th is when you'll be able to run that. So we are super excited about that, and that's where you'll just log on. You'll be able to bid, and you can join the auction that way. If you want to purchase anything, all the links will be there on our site as well. And if you want to sign up for any of the tournaments, the battle royals, all the directions and all the links will be there as well.
All right, wonderful. Thanks for getting that clarified so people know how to participate. Now, I think we're at a good point in the show where we can open this up to some questions. So remember, if you want to ask a question of us, what do you say? You want to give about like 10 more minutes? Because I know everyone's busy and doing their thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know we went a little long today, but we just had so much to talk about.
But it's such cool stuff. So, all right, we're going to go for 10. All right, that is 10 fingers, 10 minutes of questions. Now, if you want to ask a question, it is capital question, all in caps, colon, and then ask your question so I can see it in the chat there. Now, I did see a question go by. See, I told you it helps me see them. I did see a question go by saying, like, hey, are there going to be any maps connected to, your show Lucifer? Because,
Oh, man. Ooh.
Which is funny because I'm rewatching that again right now, and I was just kind of like, oh, God.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I played Carol Corbett. I played a character. And the funny thing about me being on Lucifer was that I was only supposed to come on and do a 30-second cameo in the final season, quote unquote. So they thought of, the final episode of season 5, just to kind of show maybe a bright future for Ella, for the character that so many of the audience really connected to. Yeah. People adore Ella and wanted to make sure that she was going to be okay. Well, cut to 4 days later, Netflix calling them and saying, hey, we actually need a 6th season. And then them calling me being like, hey, are you available? Can you, because we put you on the show and now we need you for the last season. I would love to do a Lux map. That would be really cool.
That would
Lucifer's
be so cool. Yeah.
Lucifer's Club with the big grand piano and the big stage.
And the bar setup and everything. Yes.
Yeah, the bar setup. You've got the spiral staircases on both sides. So whoever asked that question, thank you for the
that would be super dynamic to play considering the various levels that club has.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be a really interesting map. And that's the thing is now we have in the game, we have these terrain markers that you can actually place on the map yourself. So elevated terrain, all these things. So we can actually make asymmetrical maps now where they're not, and the map that I did this year is not symmetrical. There's elevated terrain somewhere where, the bottom half of the map doesn't have it. And so maybe map roll actually means a lot more when you have a map where one side has an advantage, but then the other side, you kind of have to place terrain to give yourself an even playing field. So, when we release the map, we'll talk more about that, but that is awesome. And, if we get Lucifer in the game, maybe I could, if I make another version of myself at any point in the future, I could make a Carol Corbett.
Oh,
that would be kind of cool.
So
I love that. Let him have a Carol Corbett in the game. Anyway.
And then Lester Scott is really going to need to try and catch up with you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm going to put such a gap between me and. No, here's the thing. Infinitely better player than me. I'll say it. I'm on record right now. Scott Crampton, his achievements in the game and his generosity and everything he's done for the game and for this event are fantastic. But if I can put a huge gap between me and him as far as these figures go, then I'm going to do it.
Fair. Totally fair. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Joester's asking legacy cards for A60 you can reveal. Uh, oh,
Mm.
maybe came in a little bit later. I think that the only one we have to show off was. Oh wait, no, we didn't
Yeah,
get any legacy cards, did
yeah,
we?
we don't have any legacy cards from
No.
Avengers 60th, but yes, in my unboxing series, uh, which will go from May 5th to, I mean, May 1st to May 5th,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be 5 days of unboxing.
On
Yes, I
this
will be
channel.
sharing with the community all of the legacy cards for that set. That being said, I mentioned earlier the auctioning off of everything I opened that week. The legacy cards I'll only get one of. So I won't be able to send
Mm.
out like all of that legacy stuff. It'll just be the one legacy card. But yes, you can expect to know all of the legacy cards for Avengers 60th on the final day of that unboxing, which so happens to also be the day of the Scott Porter versus the World super pre-release for Avengers 60th, happening in Huntsville, Alabama. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll let everybody know the legacy stuff. I really fight to like get that stuff out to the community so that everybody knows like, oh, this is what's coming, so they can go back in their collection, have the time to figure out what they're missing, try and find it if they can, and be ready for whenever that set drops. So the legacy card stuff is big for me. That being said, you know when somebody wins the create a legacy card at our event, they pick the figure that or the character that they really want to do a legacy card for, and then WizKids has to find the set that it makes a lot of sense in.
Mm-hmm.
And Iron Man feels like it would have made sense in Avengers 60th, but it might make even more sense in Wheels of Vengeance. So that's where the Daniel Powell card is going to come in. So not Avengers 60th, the Daniel Powell card, just to make sure
Okay,
everybody knows that
it's clear. Yeah.
it's going to be in the Vengeance set later in the year.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
Next question. How can I have your two figures with autographs? That's a good question. How would people go about getting autographed versions?
Yeah. So as of right now, I'm only going to be receiving a small handful of those figures as a part of our event. Remember, everything is for pre-sale. So the Scott Porter HeroClix for Huntington's variant is going up for pre-sale on May the 4th. And again, Jimmy O'Brien's in the chat here, and stay tuned. WizKids.com will have more information for everybody on when you can go ahead and pre-sale the second figure. Getting them signed, we're going to have 4 of each of them in our auction that are guaranteed signed. WizKids is going to send me 4 of each that I can sign, and then I can mail out to whoever won these pieces in the auction. Beyond that, if you buy one via pre-sale, that's going to come to you directly from WizKids. So I won't be able to get my hands on them before they go to you. That being said, I'm trying to be more and more active in the HeroClix community. I went down to the Clicks Championships in Florida that were run by David Newmark. I was there for that entire event weekend, and hopefully, I'll be able to attend a couple of bigger tournaments or conventions here for HeroClix, in the next year or so. Beyond that, come to HeroClix for Huntington's next year, and I'll be able to sign anything that you guys want. People who attended last year, I was signing maps left and right. I was signing figures left and right. Anybody that comes, like when I'm down there, when I'm in person, I have no problem signing anything for anybody. So, if you miss out on the auction, but you want to order these figures, just hold on to the box. And the next time you see me or the figure, the next event you're going to, then I'm going to be there. Just ask me and I'll sign them. No problem.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Next one is coming up from Dishing Up Clicks. If you were to pick a figure to design from any intellectual property, who would you pick and why?
Man. Yeah. My answer always changes because the things that I love are constantly morphing and changing. And, I've said Transformers before, and I've said, a bunch of different properties before. Some of my favorite properties have become HeroClix, Lord of the Rings, which actually we have like sealed Hobbit movie, Lord of the Rings factory sets as well in our auction. So it's not just all Marvel and DC stuff. We have Star Trek stuff in our auction. We have, Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit stuff in the auction. So people that are fans of that stuff, we've got something for everybody, literally. I'd say right now, I would love to get some Destiny love in HeroClix form. Some of the existing characters Cade, Six, or Zavala, rest in peace, Lance Reddick, or some more generic, Hunter, Warlock, Titan, sculpts. There's a lot that you could do there. Back in the day, they did the HeroClix did the HaloClix, they did Gears of War. I don't see any problem with doing some Destiny stuff, man. We get some Hive in there, get some Falling, get some Vex. Oh, different factions. I mean, that would be awesome. And I could have my own Space Wars with Guardians on HeroClix maps. So I'd say right now, I think Destiny is a property that I'd be really interested in seeing, because you do some different variants of a Void class Warlock or a Solar class Warlock, and then people could really put their teams together the way that their fire teams in the game go, and that would be awesome. So anyway, Destiny. Yeah.
Okay. There we go. This year is Destiny. Mark that.
Yeah.
This year. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see here. We have 2 questions, and we're going to call it after those 2. Next one's from Takoko. I hope I said that right. That's what it looks like. Okay. Which one of those figures is your favorite for the Scott Porter?
Oh man.
Ones that you have. Did we just Sophie's choice you?
He did. I love them both for such different reasons. I think I have to say that as far as me as a human being, the HeroClix for Huntington's variant is awesome because it leans into theme, it leans into community, it leans into family, which is everything I want this event to represent. But as a HeroClix player over time, Powerbomb was such this mythical thing for so long, and was just like everybody loved it. Everybody loved the idea of Powerbomb being real, and then it became this joke, this running gag, this connective tissue for all of us HeroClix players. And you could tell if somebody's been around a while, because if you say Powerbomb and there's a blank look on their face, then they're probably a newer player. If you say Powerbomb and somebody's like, oh yeah, no, I know, it's there's something there for people that have played this game for so long. And so as a HeroClix player, probably the Powerbomb, but as a human being myself, HeroClix for Huntington. So I really straddled the fence on that, but that's my answer.
Okay. Then Aaron Morgan is going to have our last question for this evening. By the way, thank everyone who asked questions. Last question is, what unmade character are you hoping to see in Avengers 60?
Oh, man. Yeah, so I can't remember very often off the top of my head what figures have and haven't been made. I've been doing this for so long that
there's so many.
the bleed and doing the unboxings for all of them, I'm constantly flushing stuff to learn, research, do all the new stuff for the new sets, or replacing all of this stuff. Seeing that Venom God of Symbiotes, I don't know if we have Eddie Brock's son in the game, but Eddie Brock's son has a protector, which is a symbiote named Sleeper. Ooh. And Sleeper is very often just the form of a cat. And I don't know. Tell me in the chat if Sleeper has been clixed before. But if Sleeper has not been clixed before, that would be my answer. I don't know if Sleeper fits in the Avengers 60th set. I think that's more classic Avengers storylines, But yeah, Sleeper is probably the figure that I most want to see, or the character that I think is unclixed that I most want to see. Sleeper would be my answer.
Okay, getting he has not, but someone in the chat, Jackson S, wants as well. Yes. So there you go.
Yes.
All right. There you go. So thank you so much for answering those for everyone. I think we're at the point where we're probably going to want to start wrapping this up, because I know the chat has been with us for a good amount of time, and we appreciate that greatly. Before we say our goodbyes, is there any last words, any last things you want to mention to everyone who is watching and everyone else who will be watching later?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody as a community, everybody that's come out before personally, or everybody that's taken part in the virtual stuff. We have a huge HeroClix community north of the border in Canada that hasn't been able to attend, but that shows up every single year virtually. Every cent that is given, every cent that is raised goes to HDSA, and it goes there with the intent to find a cure for this thing and to support the community that is dealing with it. And a lot of good has been done with the money that we've raised for this event. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here in the chat, for watching, if you're watching later, for taking part in the event in whatever way, shape, or form you can. Every single bit of it matters. Every bit of awareness, every cent raised, it all matters. Our event this year, once again, just to recap, May 4th through the 7th, both in person and virtually. You can come down and take part in any of our tournaments, any battle royales that we're doing in person at Lucky Dice Cafe down in Huntsville, Alabama. You can also take part in this everything. If you want to play a little bit, you can jump online and do these online battle royals that Brad Broyles runs for us. You can jump into the auction. So there really is something for everybody to do. If you can find an hour or two to jump on and play a little bit, even though you can't attend the event, it would be awesome to have you there. We're auctioning off a couple of battle royals that I'll take part in, both in person and virtually. So that's something to look forward to on the auction. But there also is a lot of times that I just drop in and I just play.
Nice.
And it's just because I love it. I love this community. I love playing, and I'll be doing that all weekend long as well. So go to HeroClix for Huntingtons.com for all the information on how you can take part. Like I said earlier, if you just want to donate directly to HDSA, but you want to let them know that it's coming from the HeroClix community, you can go to hdsa.org/HeroClix and you can donate directly there. This section is really just for thank yous. Thank you to Howard for coming up with this idea and reaching out to me, for his massive heart and everything that he's done. Thank you to our judges team, Aaron, Kuz, Brad. We've got some new guys coming down this year, Barnstable and the like. BZ, you guys have been there for 3 years donating your time, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. And V, to you, I say
Scott,
thank you.
We lost you.
Oh no.
Want to make sure we can hear thank yous in.
Oh, can you hear me now?
It sounded like your mic may have disengaged. Can you switch to another one?
Oh, sure. Just unplug this. Oh, can you hear me now?
Or are you coming in? Is it my headphones? 1 second. Might be my headphone failed on me. Give me just a second. Technical fun, folks. Let me see here. All right, we're going to go with this headset. All right, I should be able to hear you now. I can hear you now, but I got to fix it so they can hear you now.
Saying thank you to all of our judges. Thank you to UV for donating your time, and most especially thank you to the community, and thank you to WizKids, because without this community or without WizKids going above and beyond, I mean, this year they've stepped it up another step, and I don't know how they continue to do it, but they do, and they do it for a great cause, and they do it for this community, and I couldn't be happier. So thank you guys so much for being here for the stream, and we hope to see you in person or virtually May 4th through the 7th. And that's it.
All right, and fantastic. And don't forget that auction starts May 1st. So if you're interested in that, you want to act on that one. All right, everyone. Yeah. That's it for this year. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a great time chatting with you all and hearing all the greatness that is happening with this event, Scott. Take care, and let's see what happens with this year. All right. Bye, everyone.
Peace.